In this series of screencasts, we continue to demonstrate how to use the Alice 3 Scene Editor, which allows you to create your Alice world by adding and positioning characters, scenery, and props. This screencast will demonstrate how to use the one-shot procedural methods for more precise positioning of objects in a scene. As a reminder, this is an example that is being created for this series of screencasts. In this example, a clownfish and a blue tangfish first meet a shark. As the two small fish are talking, a shark will suddenly appear. The clownfish will panic, swimming away to look for a place to hide. He will find a treasure chest and hide in it. In the screencast Adding Objects and Moving Objects, we've been building the scene with the clownfish, blue tang, a shark, a cave, a sunken pirate ship, and a treasure chest. If you wish to work along with the screencast, pause this video, start Alice, and open the accompanying world One Shots Start. This project starts where we left off in the Moving Objects screencast. We will fine-tune the scene we have built thus far by moving the shark back out of sight and opening the lid of the treasure chest. Before going to the scene editor, let us take a minute to look at the code editor. In the code editor, select the shark from the instance menu. In the Methods panel of the code editor, click on the Procedures tab, which will show us the procedures for our shark. A program statement in Alice instructs an object to perform a particular action. These program statements are called methods, and the Methods panel in the code editor contains two tabs for different types of program statements for Alice objects. Procedural methods are actions or behaviors that an Alice object can perform. Functional methods are program statements that ask a question of an Alice object, generating an answer that is returned. Click on the Procedures tab in the Methods panel. It turns out that we are able to use some of these procedures in the scene editor. Using these procedures as one-shots provides more precise control of setting up our objects in a scene. If you are still in the code editor, click on the Setup Scene button to return to the scene editor of Alice. On the right-hand side of the scene editor, you will see the control panel. This is the instance menu of the scene editor. Here I am selecting the shark from the instance menu. Like the code editor, this menu allows you to select the object in the scene you wish to work with. Of course, you can also click on the object in the scene as well. Thinking about the story we are building, the clownfish and the blue tang are talking when the shark swims into view to join the conversation. At this moment in setting up our scene, the shark is currently in position to join the conversation. We want to move the shark back to its starting position. We could do this by trying to position the shark with our mouse, but we will not know exactly where it is, complicating the code for this animation. We want to take advantage of procedural methods to more precisely position the shark at its starting position. In the control panel on the right side of the scene editor, underneath the instance menu, you will see a button named One Shots. Click on this button and a drop-down menu appears. Select the arrow next to Procedures, and a submenu will appear with a list of procedures. These are many of the same procedures that we saw listed in the Procedural Methods tab in the code editor. We will be able to use these procedures in the scene editor to help us in setting up the scene. Another way to get the One Shots menu is to right-click on the object in the scene view. Select the Move procedure from the menu. You will then be presented with a series of submenus allowing you to specify which direction and how far you would like the shark to move. Select Backward, and then select Custom Decimal Number. In the keypad that appears, type the value 50, then click OK. The shark will then move backwards 50 meters to its starting position for this scene. We now want to open the lid of the treasure chest. Go to the instance menu in the control panel and select Treasure Chest. Notice that there is a little arrow next to the treasure chest in the menu. Select this arrow and you will see a list of joints or subparts that belong to the treasure chest. Many models in the Alice Gallery have joints or subparts. Select the lid. You will see in the scene that handles appear that would allow us to manipulate the lid of the chest into position. For the purposes of the code in our animation, we will use one-shot procedural methods to more precisely turn the lid to its starting position. In the control panel on the right side of the scene editor, click the One Shots button underneath the instance menu. As before, select Procedures from the menu that appears. Select the Turn procedure from the submenu. Select Backward, and then 0.25, which is 1/4 of a rotation. We now have an open treasure chest, a possible place for the clownfish to hide from the shark. Now practice using one-shot methods to assist you in further positioning other objects in your scene. In this screencast, we demonstrated how to use the Alice 3 one-shot procedural methods of the scene editor, which allow you to have more precise control in positioning and orienting characters, scenery, and props.